Hola, amiguitos! Hi, friends! Do you have a favorite toy? I thought so. When I was a kid, a very, very long time ago, I loved to play with my pink Power Rangers action figure named Kimberly. That was lots of fun. Today's story is all about two brothers named Maxton and Bronx and their favorite toy, a big colorful kite called Mr. Macaw. The book is titled The Adventures of Mr. Macaw, Las Aventuras del Señor Macaw. Are you ready for a magical adventure? Let's get started. Empecemos! The Adventures of Mr. Macaw, Las Aventuras del Señor Macaw, by Leticia Ordaz, illustrated by Yana Popova. Maxton and Bronx raced ahead of Mommy and Papi into their summer home. The little house in Mexico always felt like a cozy blanket, even though Abuelito Kiki and Abuelita Anita no longer lived there. "Where's the purple box?" asked Bronx, the younger of the two brothers. "Here it is," shouted Maxton. The boys ripped off the tape and tossed the lid. "Hola, Mr. Macaw," Bronx greeted Abuelito's old kite. Maxton lifted it above his head. "I bet you're ready to fly with your best friends." "Squawk! Good to see you, niños. Let's go fly. I was worried you boys weren't coming because of the tropical storm." Bronx giggled. "That just makes things more exciting." "We're not worried. Abuelito Kiki is watching over us," explained Maxton. "Yay! Let's do this!" Off to the beach they went with Mommy and Papi. "Squawk!" Mr. Macaw soared so high. "Now that I'm 7, I don't need Papi's help," said Maxton. "Abuelito Kiki would be proud," said Mommy. When Abuelito was a teenager, he was a great lifeguard. He saved several children who'd been swept away by giant waves. "The magical kite was given to him by one of the familias," said Papi. Bronx nodded. "We love that Mr. Macaw is part of our familia." Mr. Macaw flew down. "It's Bronx's turn." Bronx ran down the beach with Mr. Macaw. Then he let go. "Can you fly by yourself?" "Oh no!" Maxton said. "Let's grab him." Maxton jumped and caught Mr. Macaw by the string before he could fly away. "Sorry," Bronx said. "I was just testing out his super wing power." Mr. Macaw said, "Squawk! That gives me an idea. Check on the village." The winds were getting stronger. "Yikes!" Bronx said. "A tropical storm is coming. Let's bring Mr. Macaw back to us." Suddenly, a gust of wind moved in and took Mr. Macaw away. "Squawk! Mr. Macaw, come back!" shouted Maxton. "Squawk! It's okay. Abuelito Kiki told me to always look after the village. I'm off to see if anyone needs help," said Mr. Macaw. Maxton, Bronx, Mommy, and Papi ran after him. He flew over the buildings, then disappeared. "Mr. Macaw might get lost in the storm," Maxton exclaimed to Tomas, the mayor of the village. "Boys, you can count on me. I'll find Mr. Macaw. Everyone loves seeing the magical kite fly every summer," said Tomas. "I'll text the entire village to keep an eye out for him." Mr. Macaw flew faster and faster as the storm pushed him higher and higher. "Squawk!" Mr. Macaw flew through the rain. He watched a group of girls playing soccer in the streets. A paletero pointed at him. "Look, that's Mr. Macaw." Tomas said we must help him get back to Maxton and Bronx. He's the family's old kite. Mr. Macaw swooped down to take a bite of a girl's paleta de piña. The child grabbed the kite for a second, but the wind pushed Mr. Macaw back up. "I'm hungry." He headed toward the marina to check on everyone. Mireya, the captain of a small fishing boat, tried to grab Mr. Macaw's string, but the winds pushed the kite away. Squawk! Mireya shouted. It looks like the storm is moving away from the village. We are all safe. Go back home. Back at Abuelito's old home, Tomas's phone kept ringing. We saw Mr. Macaw with the girls playing soccer. We saw Mr. Macaw in the village eating paletas. We saw Mr. Macaw near the marina. Bronx pointed to something bright in the sky. It's Mr. Macaw. The kite swooped down towards Maxton, Bronx, Mommy, and Papi, but a gust of wind pushed him up into a palm tree. Mr. Macaw, we're coming for you, shouted Maxton. Tomas climbed up to get the magical kite. Maxton said, You're in one piece. All of the people in Abuelito's village are safe from the storm, and they guided you home, Mr. Macaw. Squawk! I lost a few gold feathers, but it was worth it. By the next day, the tropical storm had passed through. Mr. Macaw is still bent, said Bronx. The boys untangled and tried to fix his twisted wings. Abuelito Kiki told us Mr. Macaw would always fly. We should take him to the beach to see, Maxton said. At first, Mr. Macaw wouldn't take off, and the boys felt discouraged. Suddenly, a gust of wind filled Mr. Macaw's damaged wings. Like magic, the bent wings opened and took Mr. Macaw high into the sky. He can do magic, said Bronx. You can't even tell he flew through a storm. Just like the people in this beautiful village, the spirit of Mr. Macaw will never be broken, said Maxton. You did it! Bravo, Mr. Macaw! Squawk! I can fly! Just not in another storm. The end. Fiend, what was your favorite part of this story? My favorite part was when the whole community came together to help Maxton and Bronx find their kite. We should always be helpful and kind to our friends in need. Someday, we might need their help in return. I hope you enjoyed reading The Adventures of Mr. Macaw, Las Aventuras del Señor Macaw. Do you hear that? It's time for Get Up and Baila! Vámonos! Let's go! Always remember, friends, you are worthy and you matter. Say it with me. I am worthy and I matter. Happy reading. Until next time. To hear more, click the subscribe button below. And to purchase your own copy, visit MiJaBooks.com or click on the link in the description below.